Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3 Tides of Torment, where today we face a little bit of a conundrum. We're still waiting a turn on Wulfric reaching his full power so that he can return to the Jabber Slythe hunt, and also so that, somebody can drive Philip Billings back out of our territory. But in the meantime, we really do need to make some money. We are we are still losing cash every turn, and we're in a little bit of a state. Thoman, can you reach? No, Thoman cannot reach any of the other settlements from here. It doesn't look like. No, he won't. He won't quite make it to Angariel, even if we go over the sea. Because we could just use an attack on something, obviously, to generate cash. I wonder if he's able to get into the ocean. You're allowed to get into or out of the ocean using the beach. Even if you don't have, as long as you have like any movement left when you hit the beach, even if you don't have the full amount of movement that it costs, and it just doesn't replenish your movement fully next turn to pay for the rest of it. I wonder if we could get him over here and engage with the mysterious island, because that would probably produce enough money, and then we can return to putting pressure on the high elves on our next turn. Alistair's nearby, but this this army is in no position to be a problem to us. Yeah, let's see if this works, and if it doesn't work, then I suppose the other thing we could do is we could run across here. 26 movement range left, or 26% of our movement left.
I know things.
And yeah, how much does it cost to go into this? Doesn't actually say. But we can lower the upkeep of this army by being in raiding mode and also steal some money from this region. That's probably better to do because it keeps us in more of a pressure position. I'm not sure we'd be able to attack them from over here. So yeah, let's make it just across the river so that we have the maximum, or not the river, but just across the bay here. So we have maximum movement left. Go into raiding camp. Yeah, there we go. Raiding quite a lot of money and lowered the upkeep of the army enough that we're actually positive on income. And then next turn we can deal damage and stuff here. So how many settlements?
No talks of peace between us.
Okay, Etain still controls 5 settlements. We can see 4 of them right now, and there is a settlement up here, and it's still in the fog relative to us. So that's probably it, right? Let's see. Here is the White Tower of Hoeth. Yeah, Port Elistor and this must be Torfinu up here because we don't have vision of it, and it is in Etain province. Okay, so all we have to do is just keep the pressure up over here, which we should have no problem doing. We are certainly not paying for any building upkeep right now, or building upgrades, and I'll be happy to get back to monster hunting. Not that high elves aren't monsters. So I think we got a little lucky here. Oh, hey. It's my wolves. We got a little lucky here with this high elf plan because they extended too close to us at a moment when they were probably a little bit too weak to be carrying out the kinds of military moves they were carrying out. And then they were distracted by enemies on all sides of them at critical moments an awful lot. Did y'all see as Hexoatl went past that their bar is completely green? I think the Lizardmen just lost all of their armies to something. Boy, that sure makes me want to go back go back to somewhere other than Philip Billings. We'll see how things go. I did notice that the high elf army that was mustering over there does seem to have gained a huge number of units in the one turn of mustering it did. Hooray! We got a very small recruitment cost reduction. We've learned about owning high elf territory. That's pretty good. Yeah, wasn't this army just a lord last turn? Ah, and their lord has been replaced with Tyrion, so he instantly recruited 14 units. Well, that's fun for him. Must be nice.
Fog of mind.
So 11 units here, lots of archers. 15 units here, lots of archers.
Keep watch of the tides.
You know, putting down the rest of these elves might not be totally trivial. These are both okay, those are way too expensive to even consider.
Keep an eye for whales.
Okay, what were we doing over here? We were probably researching deadly prey, which I interrupted in order to grab
Can adapt.
the other thing. So let's talk about these wolves. One of them was coming down here for the purpose of being a map action character. Probably you. And one of them is coming down here for the purpose of being a fighter. Yeah, that would seem to be Carl. Carl is the combat one. So Carl, let's redirect you a little bit. And the other one is going ashore at Arnheim to begin harassment. Now, unfortunately, hero actions do cost a little bit of gold. But he's going to run over there and impair Philip Billings' army by causing damage to some of the units. And whether you succeed or fail on a hero action like that, you get some experience, but you definitely get considerably more when you succeed. And then the number one most important thing I want to train up about this guy is his chance of performing assassinate actions. Assassinate is a way of removing enemy characters from the map or from armies. You can't take out the lord of an army, but you can take out any other character who is attached to the army, and you can also remove map agents with this skill. And that is a thing that, in my opinion, it's generally pretty useful to have at least one good agent set up for. So the question, do we want to Seafang back to Arnheim, hit Philip Billings, kill him, and then run down and clear the Moon Shard, which would probably generate a bunch of money for us? Or do I think we're going to run Domin Gorax and Wolfric together through in order to break down Tyrion? I kind of want to split these armies up. We have a lot to do.
There will be.
And Domin Gorax's army is pretty strong now. I think he's got those Chaos Warriors. He's got another super powerful character, it seems like. Yeah, let's just step in here, claim our free decisive victory. Now, it is worth noting that the sack value of this territory is extremely high. And maybe what I should do is just sack it and run back. But we do also have other things going on. We're busy, and we're trying to finish off this faction.
Servant of the dark gods.
Okay, we can learn some things about wine. Perfect vigor and leadership. That's right, we've seen that before. But also just, wine added to the trade agreement. It's definitely worth something.
Harbinger of war.
You will learn to kill for corn with your gore feast. Gross. Bjorg over here will pick up some personal combat skills himself. Many are the dark horrors of twisted flesh and nightmares made real that the ruinous powers have visited upon the world, but few are quite as vicious as this guy who's just like a bear. It's not really that horrifying when you get right down to it, but it's pretty scary. So he's at 45 melee attack, 53 melee defense with a bonus plus 20 versus infantry. So keep in mind that applies to both his attack and his weapon strength against infantry units. So he doesn't really need more melee attack if we're playing him in that role. 65 will get the job done. It might not be the thing that we want to pay attention to the most here. He's got an extra charge skill. He's got a ward save. Oh, right. He's got, that Guardian Aura. That gives 15% physical resist to all nearby units. Man, he seems good. So, unfortunately, there's not really, much that's going to boost his damage here. I am going to go ahead and just take the melee attack because it is the only thing in this group that boosts his damage output. But I don't think he needs the toughness of plus defense or plus armor. At least it doesn't seem so at the moment.
To the four corners.
Okay, and Wulfric. Wulfric can... Maybe it feels a little bit wasteful to teleport, but we have the... No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So let's just get out.
Where's my next quarry?
And... Seafang myself over to... I think I come in at Arnheim to face the army first, then worry about the Moon Shard, right? Pretty sure.
I long to ride the waves.
Guess what? Surprise!
More.
Yeah, this would be just a terrible slaughter. This is going to be skin wolves covered in blood and body parts rampaging across this battlefield.
I'm skilled.
The idea that any of these units of normal archers would have the time to get off 40 kills is completely absurd. All right, we'll take the replenishment, I guess. Sacrifice captives is a fair amount of money, but at this point we're holding okay.
Shackle them.
Stole some items from him. Neither of these are particularly great.
The eternal challenger.
And what were we doing with you? You had picked up pretty much all of the yellow line stuff, all of the personal line stuff that I think is worth getting. I mean, Voice of the Dark Gods is pretty good. I think we were maybe thinking about going to purple or to the blue line, which we've already kind of started in on. The thing is, Wulfric just doesn't need that much more in terms of stats to be really terrifying, especially with the mammoth. So we've already got ourselves a replenishment rate. This is a recruitment cost, which, all things considered, you pay such a small amount of a unit's lifetime cost is its recruitment, and it rarely ends up being an issue. This is income and spoils from pillaging and sacking. I do like pillaging and sacking. We could also take a growth bonus for whatever province he's in, just like trying to make sure that we are putting the statues in a place where they can level up quickly after they are conquered. Not necessarily opposed to that, but I think I'm going to take despoilers. We're still having some financial problems. I think that probably makes the most sense. And then you are just going to continue learning your spells. So we have now a pretty decent single target damage spell. Some good stat buff and debuffs. We could get Glittering Robe, which is a big armor buff for our own units. Or we can get you a damage spell that I don't know. I'm a little back and forth on Gehenna's Golden Hounds. In practice, it works a lot like the Purple Sun, where it creates a circle of damage and then just kind of dances around. It doesn't do as much damage as the Golden Sun. And, you know, it wanders and it's hard to control and it's hard to predict and It feels to me like most of the time I'd rather have Searing Doom. Even though
Let's
Searing Doom will
fight.
probably do less damage pretty much always.
Give it a few hours.
Remember, we still have replenishment in unfriendly territory due to Wolfric's many, many cheaties. Cheaties? Is this a good way to describe? You know all the things he has that are like that are cheaty. Now that it turns out we have all this extra money, do I want to upgrade this building? So right now it's giving us a little movement range, a little replenishment rate in the province. It could be approximately double both of those, plus more chaos, undivided corruption, and when corruption is high, local recruitment capacity up, and local recruitment duration down. That's pretty fun. Or speed up and perfect vigor just during siege battles when chaos, undivided corruption is high. And this is definitely the cooler one, right? Okay, here we're still one more turn until we have the population boost to upgrade White Peak. I'm really curious if Tyrion's army is gonna just ride out and attack us.
You are getting above yourself.
He's got a couple of units of fairly elite. Not elite. White Lions are not like... I don't want to misrepresent White Lions as being like really high tier
I'll keep my
infantry.
sword close, but
So much as that they, are very capable of dealing a lot of damage. They demand that we pay them $200 so that we both have military access through each other's territory. You know what? I'm just going to say fine. I don't want to impede them on their task of destroying all the high elves. We're working together here. We can collaborate. Boy, all of a sudden he does have some armies, huh? And here we are told a valiant defeat because he was able to spawn another army of like 20 units. Well, I mean, we got to make it happen. So the Scarecrow banner just makes it so the unit that's holding it lowers the leadership of nearby flying units. I have no idea who to put this on. Probably one of the ranged, right? Because that's how they'll try to take advantage of their eagles, is dropping them into our ranged. Not that it will matter because eagles are garbage. All right, it would be super cool if we could break these guys before their reinforcements show up. I don't think it's likely, but they attacked us at kind of a weird angle. So if we force them back, they won't be retreating into their reinforcements, which is nice. And their reinforcements have to move slow through the forest to get up to us. We'll see how they set up. They might try to just put themselves in the corner here and shift over to that direction right away. But they might not. We don't really get to know, it seems like. Well, I gotta be honest with you. Our settlements garrison is very unlikely to get anything meaningful done, and I'm gonna kind of just lay those guys out to here, because all they're gonna do is break and make everyone around them sad. And then... yeah, I don't really... I don't really know what to do here except put guys down in position and run forward. It's not the slickest technique, but... Alright, can we see any of them? Yes, we can see all of them. So they have just set up pretty wide across. Alright, he has a fair number of archers here. He's also got these Eagle Claw bolt throwers, so of course we want to be wary of that. I mean, my inclination is just to kind of run across the field. Right, like take the units that are relatively tough, and let's just go meet them face to face. And then we have our own ranged, who I think want to try to like get over here as quickly as possible, and then advance with a lot of trees between them and the bolt throwers. Oh, don't get ahead of yourselves. Our sort of flanking units. Actually, you probably go in group one. You're kind of an unusual thing because you have your pistols, so we'll just leave you alone. Okay, yeah, and then... So he's got one unit of archers on this side. One in the trees. I do wish that this army had like a flying character or something where we could try to run around this cone and then threaten to harass from the side to get this thing to turn away so it's not firing, you know, directly at us. We can do that. You know what? Actually, you go with these guys. And then the units that are good at charging. Yeah, I'm hanging to this side pretty heavily. I'm a little leery of like trying to insert myself here to push these guys away from the reinforcement point, and then just getting flanked by a lot of archers when the reinforcements do come in if we don't get the job fully finished. And then, like, honestly, just like, let's take out this dude to the side, these archers to the side here.
Know this! I would throw your lives to the mercy of the gods, if it pleased me. You are
Okay,
fortunate
they
then
are
that I need you alive.
regrouping in some kind of way. I'm not really sure what to make of this.
It's time!
I do think we probably want to have some of our units run more forward than we were running if they're going to have their archers turn sideways on approach. And then we have our slower guys. Like, we're just going to get in here and start causing havoc as our slower infantry press up. And then I don't know what to do with all these dudes. These dudes are probably just dead. But let's move them over to here, I guess, so that they're not just free kills for the ballistas.
Seal of the North!
Okay, and here we want to find ourselves a position where the enemies are more or less still. Like, these guys are hanging back, but they're also spread out from everybody. And obviously, what I'm looking for with the purple sun is always to drop it in the middle of the densest formation possible. We might want to just hold on a second. Might be that they're just not ready to be attacked yet. We should probably pick you a target and hit all of your speed buttons right now. And then Bjorg, go kill those spears. You're not actually large, are you? No, he does count as large, despite the fact that he's objectively... Well, I guess he's ogre-sized, you know? I was like, hey, look at him. He doesn't look any larger than the soldiers next to him. But right, those are ogres. So that's why that's like that. Alright, maybe go kill the white lions then. You guys go try to engage these spears. Cavalry charge. Not so good. Alright, this is looking like a pretty okay spot, I think. Let's get some charges set up. So keep in mind the units that have the blue bar on them, I have like basically like a Halo style shield on their HP. Maybe we just fire at these spearmen. Soften them up because we don't want them necessarily readily receiving a charge. You guys go there, you guys go there. You guys go there. We'll try to give some individual targets here, but the problem with this, of course, is that as we, gain and lose sights of units in the trees, they're going to lose these orders. Always annoying. Let's get our ranged up like this. Should be doable, I think. There's our purple sun. Tyrion and his elf magics. Oh, Sila's like in there. Sila's not afraid of anything. We can probably actually get a decent, decent little charge off here. So just based on the sort of raw effectiveness of our troops, we're getting a fair amount of fast breakages on Tyrion's forces here, and that's not really a big surprise. It looks like we probably want to call these guys to a stop a little earlier than I thought. Maybe grab these two and hold on, you and you, and no other units. Maybe that's too much reverse. I don't want them to move that far, but you guys stop those lions. Okay, and of course our characters are gonna get some stuff done here, and then we can move them around the battlefield as appropriate. Let's start draining Tyrion's life. This is going to be a slow process. Pull our wizard out before he spends too much time in melee combat with these high damage enemies.
The eagle rewards! Great shaman sorcerer!
But he does have, he is a charging unit with a charge bonus and an anti-infantry bonus, and he can certainly be used for things like this. All right, enemy reinforcements are approaching, but I'd say we've done a pretty good job of making this army feel shitty prior to the arrival of their reinforcements, which is not to say that we are in shape to receive the number of units that we're about to have to receive. Ugh, these guys over here really need some support. Yeah, we need support on this side. So let's start trying to roll this up a little bit. If you guys could get over to here, just break from your engagements. Throwing axes into enemies that are in the trees is not, in my opinion, the ideal way to solve this problem. You guys are going to break that. So these are like the enemies. We broke all the enemies over here already. This whole group can just kind of be wrapped up and around. Do something like that. Bjorg in particular, as a relatively fast dude, can go for those Sea Guard.
Victory is clear! We know the way! At once!
I'm going to try to just do a charge through with the chariots here because that unit's already pretty weak and disincorporated. They're using their eagle to try to keep my charges from getting to where they're going, which is annoying behavior, and it's working. But Bjorg broke the eagle, so that's done with, hopefully. You guys can crush the Silverin Guard real quick, probably. That would be helpful. Excellent chariot chase going on here. Chariots beat archers. You know, I talk a lot of shit about chariots because I'm bad at using them, and that makes me feel like it's not my fault. But you can't deny a unit of chariots will kick the shit out of some archers. All right, we'll try to get some ranged units onto Tyrion here. Do I have somebody who wants to try to just, like, go hand-to-hand with Tyrion for a while? The Man-Eaters at 46 attack, 50 defense will get absolutely shredded. But the thing that matters is to hold him in place. It would be best if we could... You're just kind of, like, in the right place at the right time. And I really, really don't want him getting into my massed infantry because we need them for other things. Right, I know I pause a lot, and I do apologize for that. Another thing we don't want him doing is spending a lot of time in contact with the wizard. Obviously, that would be very bad. We can tag him with another Spirit Leech. You might be noticing that I'm not overcasting the Spirit Leech. On Overcast, all that it gains is extra range. So if you're already close enough to your target, it's not super helpful. Bjorg doesn't really need to hit. He doesn't really need to go Bear Fang Talisman just yet, I don't think. Didn't mean to shrink his stats. Let's see if we can direct. Gotta get these guys to go in the correct direction. The situation's changing so rapidly for everybody. You guys, I pulled you back to shoot at Tyrion, so stay on him now and shoot him. These Chaos Warriors will break those spearmen trivially in a second. Does anybody here have a ranged weapon? Go re-break that eagle. Alright, our Marauder Bearmen are getting overwhelmed, but we're sending reinforcements. It's just going to be a second. Please hold. Okay, and those are the two units that I'm trying to have shoot Tyrion. These guys are doing their best. They're shooting into the trees. All right, enemy archers are starting to come up, so we're going to start seeing heavy losses on this side until we can get our bodies over there.
Set the pace.
There's that Spirit Leech. You can see it's doing okay damage. He's not really taking damage from anything else right now. Trying not to get stuck on the enemy units too much. Alright, counter charge to break the enemy cavalry and then just keep moving.
This way.
Stupid eagle. Stupid eagle's ruining everything. Alright, you guys try to disregard eagle. You guys regard eagle. Alright, y'all got orders, You guys are supposed to be helping with this stuff. As we, you know, collapse multiple units onto their White Lions, the White Lions will start faltering. They are not particularly good at melee defense. They have units of Illyrian Rider Archers that we don't have a great answer to right now. And keep in mind, this is a defensive battle, right? We're being attacked during our turn, or during the enemy turn. So, if they can't manage it, the win here, we will get a pulse of replenishment at the beginning of our turn, and then we'll be able to sort of like go wild on them. All right, Scylla is in here, and I know that Tyrion is as well, and I don't really want these guys fighting in this way. What I want is Scylla in here. So I think I'm going to have him and Bjorg both just try to make it to the reinforcements, because I think this side of the battle is won already. But the problem is I can't, like, I can only just run away from Tyrion for so long. I need him to latch onto somebody who he thinks he can fight in range of the ranged units that I'm trying to use to kill him. And I guess maybe it's time for that to be Scylla. Let's see if pulling Scylla back a little bit pulls him back. I'm trying to figure out who he's focused on here, because he could be looking at Bjorn as well. We haven't used our toughness potion yet. Okay. Yep, this is the moment. This is the moment to focus up then. All right, re-break the eagle. Great news. The manhunters can just go hunt man instead. Bjorg is going to go fight 1,000 archers by himself. You guys are gonna bleed. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. This side's gonna hurt. I think I'm actually gonna have them turn and just go after the Reavers directly. And this is where, like, the garrison's gonna get sacrificed. Unfortunately, I think that's really frustrating about this stuff over here is we keep breaking these units, and even though they're at 10 HP and no morale, they're not breaking permanently. So we still have to worry about them coming back and shooting more arrows at us, and that's really annoying. Oh, Tyrion's a coward, it turns out.
Dismember them!
He's running away. I mean, that works. It's fine.
Killers of the North!
Well, he's trying to eat my chariot unit, which is weird because you wouldn't even think the chariot unit would be vulnerable over there in that way. But despite the fact that the chariot unit flag and 2 of the chariots have been over here forever, one of them was down here until he finished killing it. You guys are supposed to be moving up. Please don't. I don't want my skin wolves fighting Tyrion. I want my Scylla and Fingrim fighting Tyrion. But you can see his health is dipping. We're getting there.
Sorcery!
These guys are almost surrendered. Okay, they broke. Pull out. Give Tyrion another magical poke. And then once Tyrion is re-magicified,
Advance! Moving!
we gotta get up here and do some. Wow, he is actually panicking their whole archer corps by himself. Most of these enemy units cannot fire while moving. So, in so doing, he has completely turned off the firing of their whole archer corps. And I think we all know what I would love to do here. We're just a little bit of magic short, but we're also still regenerating an awful lot of magic. All right, garrison army, go. Do horrible things. Looks like we got, I don't know, we got something. This bit of the battle really turned against the enemies quite quickly. Do I need to turn the ogres around to peel these guys off? Let's try to use these horses to push these guys back. I don't really want to have to, like, devote real resources to this, you know? I want it to just be done with. Okay, if Tyrion dies, I think that's going to be... Yeah, and so he agrees. He clearly is also thinking the same thing. Hey, it would be really bad if I died here. Alright, we're not going to be able to get the overcast off, but we're going to get a pretty good purple sun. And this thing where Tyrion absolutely refuses to, like, stop and acknowledge the units that are actually fighting him. Ooh, that's a big heal. Holy hell. I was going to say is likely to get him killed. But never mind. Apparently he's just immortal. Alright, we did shatter some of their boys there. Some of the ranged have figured out that they can sort of like spread out and they don't all have to run from Bjorg at the same time in the same way. But the great news is it took them way too long to figure it out, and so we are now firmly in control of the line over here. What is still fighting? There's still a unit of white lions that is still kind of in everybody's way. All right, let's see if we can disentangle these extra chaos warriors. Hold the lions in place with 2 units of marauder bearmen. And then these chaos warriors could jump Tyrion. Tyrion is not showing as poisoned currently, but I think I'd rather try to push the archers where we can. One of the big benefits of... Yeah, I think we're just going to have to... We're just going to have to break and have the ogres do this thing. One of the big benefits of having a one-on-one fight with an enemy lord in a situation like this is that if they're large, it remains pretty easy for your ranged units to hit them. If you... The moment you get into swarming them with melee units, all of a sudden you're going to have line of sight issues. I'm wondering if that heal that he did was temporary, because I don't think he should be taking damage again this quickly. They ran their other character over to fight Scylla. That went well. Alright, a close victory. I figured I could take them with the delay and the relatively low quality of their troops. Tyrion's army lost almost... Geez, that's... They lost almost everybody. This is the downside of extremely high leadership. Your troops just stay and fight until they die, and then you have nobody to back off and try it again with. And this is a thing with a number of these sort of like the forces of order, as they are so called. The high elves, especially when led by certain legendary lords, the Kislevites, the dwarves. It's just like they have all these bonuses to their leadership, and it means they don't break and panic. You don't lose battles early, but when you do suffer a loss, the amount of troops you have left over is it's sad is what it is. So we're going to have the ability to press back on all these armies after taking a nice big hit of sitting inside of a friendly settlement replenishment at the beginning of our turn. And it's going to be messy. It's going to be real messy for them. Thummin is going to readjust the size of their forces significantly. I am going to go ahead and take the replenishment here just to make sure that we're in as good a shape as possible. They sure do have a lot of bodies in general, though. And Alistar's coming ashore. His units are badly injured, but there's enough of them that if they take a little time to heal up, they might be able to recapture Lothern, which would be really annoying. It's all fine. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it handled. I really don't want to have to resettle Lothern though, because I think the spoils cost on that might be pretty real. Because I think we have to pay 500 spoils each time we settle it. Ugh, if they make me
I
sail...
only need to goad you.
Peace. You know what? I am going to take this. They're going to give me 1,300 gold and peace, and then we're not going to think about each other anymore because there's no reason for us to... Oh, no, sorry. I can't take peace until I recapture my site over there. All right. Defeating Tyrion is pretty good. Get you a pretty decent trait. We stole their banner of the Black Iron Reavers. It's not a bad banner. That really does improve a unit. Wintertooth continues to glom up all the other little Norskin factions, and we'll totally worry about that soon. That seems like a thing to be concerned about. Let's see here. -2 Winds of Magic for rare spells, +10 power reserve capacity. You know, this is pretty good. Melee attack, frenzy, vigor loss reduction. Go ahead and grab that, and then offering to the gods, giving us massive post-battle loot, and also, yeah, this ability that I don't honestly know how often I'm going to use.
My dog.
And my army's basically at full health. Which is pretty bad news for all of our opponents. Spell resistance, missile resistance. I think we'll just continue pushing along the yellow line here toward Deadly Onslaught, which is a pretty good ability. And you're gonna do the same. How deadly these fangs.
Unwise.
Lothern has a 12-unit garrison by default. How... Okay, they've just about healed up. And there's some units of Famir in there. Those are pretty healthy. Alistair's army is going to be a pain in the ass, to be sure.
Yes.
But let's ride over here and claim the Shrine of Asurion and just kind of shut this whole situation off. The Shrine of Asurion has a landmark building that can be constructed. You know, I don't really care about that.
I know things.
A Pyrrhic victory that kills 3 of my units of... Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you think is going to happen? That doesn't seem very likely. Alright, we'll make one of the uses... I guess we're going to have to do this manually. The settlement garrison here is relatively tough. I'll say that. They got some proper Phoenix Guard. These are like real infantry. They got a Phoenix themselves. But I just don't see this going that way. I'm not sure what I would have to do to make that a likely outcome. Also, we're not actually fighting in the settlement. We're fighting near the settlement. So the reinforcements from the settlement garrison aren't starting the battle. Like we're gonna get to push Tyrion with just this much army first. And I think he's going to have a hard time surviving that. Alright, so yeah, like just go fast troops up at the front here. We're gonna hunt us an elf lord. Oh geez, you guys actually have Vanguard deployment. I can place you outside of the initial spawn box even. That's pretty good. We're gonna put people not where they will be slowed down by trees. And yeah. All the units who are good at running fast kind of get over here. I'm gonna tell them to run into the site of the archers. I don't think the archers are actually gonna be there when we get there. It's my guess. I think they're going to rearrange themselves. Yeah.
Bloody your blades, my warriors! Once the day is done, you will bask in glory.
So start by riding hard into punishment range.
Plow through them! Pistols! Looks tasty!
Okay, here we go. This is pretty good. Let's change up Grim's plan. Back up Gorax. And you guys, just kind of get over here. I think this should go down pretty fast.
Dark sorcery!
Oh, you turning radius bad.
Great shaman sorcerer! You will fall!
Alright, you guys don't have to.
Gung-ho! God's instinct!
Don't stand and fight him.
Great shaman sorcerer! Man-eaters!
Yeah, the thing to do is just to keep moving around him. Let Grim be the only one who's physically touching him, and everybody else just throw shit at him until he dies. And every time Spirit Leech comes off cooldown, we Spirit Leech him. Okay, there's his massive HP burst, which seems like it's either permanent or something else happens to him when it. This is bad. Guys, please don't get caught. Please don't get confused. We want to keep him available as a shooting target. Unfortunately, there's only so much we can do about this thing where he charges into other people from behind because he does have a horse. Alright, those guys are caught already. Let's make sure their chariots also get caught. And you should Spirit Leech him again. And then I guess actually I ran all these slow moving units over here, but in fact I think what we're going to want to end up doing is heading this way with them. So let's see here. You guys are all shooters, and the faster moving units are mostly playing cleanup. But like the Man-Eaters and Bjorg can also come over here to meet their reinforcements. Probably send my wizard up there too.
I see it. Rampage.
You know, that's not a wizard problem. That's a. I don't know. They're under control. Everybody just head up here. Wait, where do we? We don't actually have. Oh no, we do. We have vision of some lions that are running from the battlefield. Okay, so we know they're just like over here somewhere, and we will find them when we encounter them face to face.
Warriors of Slaanesh!
You guys too. Keep moving.
Make it count!
I don't know how this one unit of Marauder Hunters got over here. Tyrion should be down any second now. God, what an efficient coward. Look at how fast he runs. Get him. Alright, you guys are going to be needed where the battle is, unfortunately. Okay, here we go. Here's the next bit. So these Phoenix Guard, we got to be a little bit more careful with. They are even better as anti-large troops than the anti-large troops we were already dealing with. So we got to make sure that we are trying to engage them infantry to infantry. They're still pretty good at fighting infantry, but we can at least give them something. Also, they got Flamespire Phoenixes. This, unfortunately, is a great big monster creature that does exactly what you would think it does from its name. It is going to resurrect, and we are just going to have to punch through all of its HP twice. Let's see if I can get this. See if we can break these guys off. I would love to have that unit held by the Chaos Warriors instead, who are, first of all, going to last a lot longer against it, but secondly, who are going to reduce its stats with the poison, hopefully to a place that we can handle a little bit better. And you, it does look like we have some enemy archers here who think they can just hang out. Let's hope that wanders in a useful direction. Trying to get these guys around the Phoenix Guard. Really don't want to see Skin Wolves in base contact with Phoenix Guard. Unless they're, flanking or something. Okay, there we go. That ought to work. Marauder Bearmen can get the archers. You guys are gonna come around over here in sword mode. You are fully monster hunters. The Phoenix does not have great actual combat stats, as you can see. 32 attack, 30 defense. It does, I believe, just kind of like pulse fire damage around it. And also, of course, it has that charge bonus, so it's dangerous as it swoops in, but it gets a lot less dangerous pretty quickly. It looks to me like this is under control, though. We're gonna have these guys down, no problem. The units that are recovering are all in pretty bad shape. You can go ahead and this isn't really gonna do anything. It's going to do a small amount of explosion damage, I guess. I will hit you with your potion of toughness as well. Hopefully you can finish off Tyrion by yourself, because we have other things we have to pay attention to. Now keep in mind, we do have some ways of messing with the enemy leadership over here as well. I believe Doom and Darkness is single target? Yeah. Right. If you overcasted it. Okay, so we can wait until the enemy leadership is looking bad and then try to dunk them with a large area -16. So you guys get that flank there. We got to wait until our troops show up in a lot of other cases. Stay on the ones that haven't surrendered yet. Okay. Now, see, we can hit these Phoenix Guard in the back with the Skin Wolves. That should work just fine.
Slaughterers of
catching archers.
Warriors
He's
of
got
Senate.
Chaos Warriors holding here. The Bearman's not really doing anything. This seems like an okay moment to go for the big sad.
Power of the beyond!
Overwhelming sensation.
Got a surrender, which is going to help these guys want to surrender, which is going to help these guys want to surrender. And I mean, certainly the flanking maneuvers aren't going to help their morale any. All right, it's looking pretty good to me.
Marauder hunters! Go!
We can probably just let those Chaos Warriors finish that chase.
Warriors of Senesh.
All right, and we're pushing them off the map. How's Sila doing? Tyrion seems to have left. Did Sila kill him and I didn't notice? It's possible. Sometimes the notifications are small. He looks dead. Sila's got 1 kill, so I guess he must have. That also helps with the big sad. It's weird that they know instantly all over the battlefield. But so that'll break down another fairly large number of elves, and we'll obviously convert this into a serpent tower. I don't know exactly how many we have right now. We got to be getting pretty close to Allegiance 3, right? Which should help with our financials right away, because I think it'll lower the upkeep of all of our units even before we consider any of the other bonuses. But unfortunately, we still have the Lion to deal with, and then we still have the High Elf army at the exact other end of their territory that is currently mustering. And we're going to have to pick one of those and rush to it, and then deal with the other one afterward. Unless we might be able to get one of our allies to deal with one of them for us, depending on how things work out. We'll just take the replenishment, I guess.
The cost of failure. Great shame of sorcerer.
All right, our Great Shaman is 1 level short of that immortality bonus. Big bonuses for monstrous arcana monsters. Probably not a thing that we're going to see a lot of in this army, would be my feeling. Let's grab the other spells before we consider anything else. Max out our magical abilities. You are always legendary. And you need 1 more point before you can get Foe Seeker. Let's say charge bonus. Again, pretty focused on offense because his defense seems very fine. All right, should be a pretty easy run given what we've already done to them. And now we're making money just fine.
My chaos.
All right, the province of Etain is ours. And I'm not still able to build the landmark here, am I? No. That makes sense. I guess it makes sense to put up a Skull Rise here, just for redundancy's sake. And then, he's still not on land, and he's kind of near the cliffs. He's going to have to sail over here to the beach before he can come at us. Zelleran is still in march mode, but we'll have time to get to Torfino. You know, he'll probably just hold out in the White Tower.
Dark Seal.
We'll have to deal with that as that army builds up.
Harbinger.
All right,
of
level
war.
20. Happy to see it because it really sucks to get close and then lose a unit, or lose a character. Aspect of the Dread Knight. This may be our least interesting spell. Maybe we don't need to grab that. We can instead grab Ritualistic Fury, or we could start in on like our red or blue lines. Maybe we're ready to like buff up the troops and stuff. Yeah, let's take our red lines now that this army is functioning more as like a real army out on its own. All right, Harald is going to head in the direction of the things that we are looking to take over, which I think means coming out of the port and sailing down south down to Lizardland.
Wulfric the Wanderer.
And we'll go ahead and
Execute.
clean this. It's a shame to have to spend an entire turn on that.
Dedication to the serpent.
Okay,
The eternal challenger.
let's level this up so we can get that wood bonus. Let's finish the ruinous stables so that we can recruit our marauder horsemasters for helping us hunt critters.
I am the Wanderer.
And then I don't know if you noticed, he's the Wanderer. He just wants everybody to be aware. Yeah, let's grab some more blue line stuff here. So filling out despoilers will get us into Devourers of Flesh, which is not like super amazing. But there's some really good stuff in that second blue box.
Empowered. Speak.
And here at the Moon Shard, it's just, yeah, obviously it's going to be that once we can do it. So we want Carl to get over here. Okay, it looks like it's pretty hard to tell whether it's going to be faster to be on land or in the water. We'll put him on land for now. All right, it is finally time to upgrade White Peak. And we can issue a commandment here. I might lower campaign movement for enemy armies starting their turn in this region for the moment. Just kind of make it awkward for Alistair to get around. Alright, so let's see how these high elves plan to take their revenge. I see Inkari here, which is pretty great news. Inkari might be in position to ward off Alistair as we push north and try to grab the rest of these settlements. Also, I forgot. I totally intended to check where we are on our allegiance counter. I just spaced. Okay, Alistair is getting up there. He seems to want it. Zelleran, interestingly,
Come to a den of wolves, and I am.
they want payment. What? Who are you? The High Elves of Nagarath. You are currently at war with no one, and you are the 8th most powerful army on the planet. But you are strongly disliked by a powerful neighbor of yours who likes me an awful lot and is totally between the two of us. Am I going to pay you off? Yeah, I guess so. Well, right this second, being at war with another player does not help us. As annoying as that is, I'm going to accept the extortion. Give me a couple of turns to wrap up my high elf problem, and then we'll see what's what. Which is exactly why they asked now, obviously. it does feel like we got to try to put these high elves away pretty quickly, because under duress, they seem to be able to produce very large armies completely out of nowhere. And I am tired of seeing it. Alright. People are looking for the Nemesis crown. I would love to care about that right now. Feet shuffle. Campfires play on faces fixed into grimaces of boredom. Each passing day is greeted by an unsteady chorus of irritated growls. Whatever sort of hunt this was, it resembles one less and less as time goes on. I got distracted. There's always time. Maybe some of the zeal will return. Because I just have infinite money to be thrown away on events and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I thought for sure Zelleran was going to, like, try to build up his force a little bit. But instead he has decided to get in the water. That's a curious choice. Okay, we only need to make one more Serpent Altar to move to level 3 allegiance, which will get us 5% more upkeep reduction, 6% more physical resistance on our characters, the ability to hire more Chaos Warriors. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. We also have, of course, Alistair crawling up. You guys are at war with Eotane, right? Yeah.
You will have an undeniable attraction to me.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening here. You got me. So it's interesting that they're at war, because we have to think about, like, if we don't scoop this stuff up now, there's every chance that Inkaria is going to do it instead. So it really makes me want to not go back home. It makes me want to head up the coast and just hope that Alistair doesn't do too much damage until we can get back. And the thing is, I don't think Alistair, with the force he has now, even at full health, can take Lothern from us with the garrison that Lothern has. But I do think he could probably run around the coast and grab the Tower of Lysine or Val's Anvil or something. He could be an annoyance. Not sure what I want to do about it.
You made a mistake coming here.
All right, I will absolutely take your peace treaty offer. He would really love a non-aggression pact. I guess, can I get... No, I'm not allowed to get a trade agreement going. Well, then I don't really want the non-aggression pact. This is the most money you can offer me? Okay, his economy is not good, so I guess I'll take it. Because they really don't care about this territory, right? If we come back down here and land in this area, we're coming in through Skeggy. So preventing them from sailing up into our unprotected backfield and stealing stuff, I think is a good long-term play. I suppose if Alistair does push along the coast, we're close enough that it's not hard to have Wulfric just, like, reach out there and grab him. And in fact, that may be exactly what happens. I don't know. A lot depends on a lot. And we will figure out what all those lots are doing and which direction they are pushing each other next time. That is going to be it for us for today, however, and thank you all so much for watching. When you return, hopefully we're going to put an end to this campaign of opportunity against the High Elves. This was, like, not the thing we were focusing on at all. It just was a side door that opened and looked like a way to fix our weird economy. And I have to, not to break my arm patting myself on the back here, but I have to say it worked out pretty much exactly the way I was hoping it would. So come back next time for hopefully the end of that and then on to greater business. And we'll see you then.